everyone, and welcome to Burn the Ship, the podcast that helps entrepreneurs go all in on their business, and we introduce them to professionals that can help them to do so. Today, we have a very special guest. Dr. Sam, how are you doing today?
Doing amazing.
Awesome, awesome. Definitely appreciate you coming on today. Go ahead and introduce yourself and the name of your business.
Sure. My name is Dr. Samantha March, and I own a chiropractic business called Lignum Vitae Wellness, or the LVW.
Awesome, awesome. We so look forward to learning much more about your business. But before we get there, we want to learn a little bit more about your story. And we understand that time is one of our most valuable resources. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about your journey.
Fair. So I originally was from Jamaica.
Okay.
And after about 16 years of that life, I moved here to the States, and over time just fell in love with health. Mm-hmm. And along that journey, I met my chiropractor, who just taught us so much more about how our body heals from within if it's aligned well. Oh. And that really resonated with me. And then I saw just how jacked up my spine was. I became a chiropractor as a patient, just from that one aspect of looking at my own x-rays. And then over time, just recognized that the medical industry wasn't for me, and switched over to chiropractic, and I've been one for 10 years now.
Okay, awesome. So 16 years on the beautiful island. When you first came over, where did you land?
I was in Florida.
Okay, okay. You were in South and North?
Yeah, I was in Miramar, Florida, which is little Jamaica, if you ask me.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a lot of us there.
Okay, yeah. I don't know a lot about that. I know about the sunny Florida area. I love that. One of these days, whenever I finish things up, I'm going to go south, maybe way south.
Like how south? I don't even know.
I mean, South America, way somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Getting out of here. But we'll talk about that another time. Now, when you got going, you were talking about how you met your chiropractor until you got into that. Was there anything you did along that journey before that time? Or
yes.
Tell us a little bit about that part.
So, I mean, my bachelor's degree is in psychology.
Okay.
And I thought, of course, I'm going to become a psychologist one day. This is great. Then I thought about it. I'm like, people have a lot going on. I don't know if I want to hear that every single day. I don't know if I can handle that personally.
That's right.
Then all the psychologists that I met were burnt out, didn't love what they were doing. And I went into public health for a while to the sector after graduating with my bachelor's to research more about drug overuse, and met a lot of interesting people and other psychologists who are in that space, and same. They just weren't in love with what they did. But the only passionate person I knew was my chiropractor.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's good. Now, with that, you've had experience in the medical field, so that helps when you're building the foundation of how you're helping in this holistic way. So you went in, and they were just able to take care of your body, get your system back in line, and then you're able to get going. What is it that made you start to gravitate towards learning more about that particular industry?
It was the fact that he told me about myself without me saying anything to him from my x-rays, right? He was able to say to me, because I told him nothing was going on, that I was the healthiest, etc. But he told me that, based on how this scoliotic spine looks, which is the S-shaped curve in your body that shouldn't be there, you probably may be having some issues with menstrual cramping and headaches and heart issues and all this other stuff that other doctors for so many years could not find an answer to.
Okay.
So once he was able to help me understand how those aspects could be related to my spine, it made sense to me to just commit to my own health in that way.
Okay.
And so once I started doing that for myself, I started meeting other testimonials, if you will, of his patients, ones that were walking that came in wheelchairs and canes, ones that had really bad struggles with the different diseases, including cancer, who are now cancer-free and healed their body holistically. And I just love the excitement that I personally felt about my own life and about how they showed up, that I really wanted to do more of that as a professional.
Yes.
And after just really touring a little bit the medical world with my own health issues, I realized that was just the thing that resonated the best with me.
Okay. So the spark is lit. What happens from there? Do you have to go to school for that? Or how tell us a little bit about that process.
Yeah, the unfortunate joke about chiropractors is that sometimes we just have a bachelor's degree, which is the silliest thing, because my student loans don't reflect that. Okay. I went to, right after my bachelor's, I moved to Marietta, Georgia, to Life University, which is one of the biggest chiropractic chiropractic, if not the biggest chiropractic space in the world, and made that best decision by enrolling there because 4 years later, 2014, I graduated as a chiropractor.
Okay. Now, with that, did you get started with your own practice? Did you intern under some people? What was that process once you finished?
You know, one thing that the working world taught me was that I am very independent, right? But I learn well and I love mentors, right? I learn quickly. And so I decided to start up with a chiropractic company back then. I don't think it's in existence now, but I started with them, moved to Texas. After I graduated, maybe 2.5 weeks later, I'm in practice. Right? I'm over there training hard, learning a lot of things, working 7 days a week, barely getting paid. But I was like, listen, if this is the internship, I'm going to earn it. Right. And I did really well. But I hated it. I hated the environment of the surrounding environment, not where I was working. I just loved greenery and I wanted to come back to Georgia. And so I decided that it was best for me to move back after about 6 months there. And when I did, I knew I needed to start my own thing. Yeah, now with that, we understand you're wanting to be independent. Was it a specific event that happened out there in Texas that made you say, you know what, I'm going to burn the ship and go all in on my own deal? Was there a specific event that happened? There is a thing, There was a thing. You know, one of the things that my mentor then did was he had us all do this personality test. And per that actual exam, if you will, which I didn't love doing those things, but it revealed to him that I exhausted a lot of energy being an extrovert because truly I'm an introvert, which most people don't really recognize that. I have very strong extroverted tendencies, but I'm really an introvert, right? So it's not that he wasn't right about that. It's the fact of how he said that that made me feel like it was almost manipulation. As to say that I wouldn't be successful in practice, right? And it was okay because I was used to just teaching people that they don't know much about me until they find out about me, kind of thing, you know? And so it really fueled that fire. I recognized that it was in my best interest to start my own practice, do my own thing. And 10 years later, here we are rebranding, becoming a new entity, and just really loving that journey.
Yes, thank you, sir, for being a part of the list that we can talk about a little bit later. So now you're doing your own thing. You went ahead and got out there, and tell us a little bit about your current business, you know, what you're doing, how you're helping, more about your ideal clients. Tell us all about your business.
Love it. So what makes me tick as a chiropractor is really helping people get the big idea, which in chiropractic means that we're helping them to understand that we create misalignments in our body from different aspects, physically or even emotionally. We help them understand to connect the dots as to why they feel the way they feel, even when it's not pain that they're feeling, you know? Sometimes it's the way that they're thinking as well that really creates the bad health aspect in their journey. And so we really love people. We love people enough to tell them the truth. And we want them to understand it from that lens first. And so as a chiropractor, education is important. And also showing up and creating those continued connections is just important. So when we see our patients, we got the feedback of it being just like home. They love coming there and they just love the atmosphere. They love our team. But that was specially curated to be just that. We want people to heal physically, mentally, and spiritually in our practice. And we really focus a lot on that. So when we do chiropractic as one source of that, we also do massage therapy, stretch therapy, laser therapy, decompression, and also nutrition support, which is one of my biggest things. I did that before I was a chiropractor, as a health coach. And so I've done that the longest in my health journey, professional journey. And then chiropractic is second to that. So I would say our ideal client really are people who are just looking for answers, right? The people who may have already gone to other chiropractors and didn't really have a good experience. We love turning that around. We love people getting connected to the reality that they're not broken, that their body and their mind are meant to be healed, and that they are powerful enough to do just that, right? So that might sound like anybody, right? Which is, we take care of anyone. That being said, though, our specialty is within the realms of even pregnancy. I love taking care of pregnant women. I love taking care of kids. My team knows that. They are like, oh, she can't wait to see this baby. But what I love more about this is the fact that oftentimes interventions on a large scale are done that are unnecessary if they just visited the right person.
Okay.
Right? And so we love helping people. I remember this patient, for example, she was told that she had to get surgery for her back. And I thought about her because she just came back from touring Europe with her family, and that's not something that she thought she could do because she thought she had to have surgery.
Right.
And turning it all around for her was a big thing, and it was a big victory for her to be able to do something like that. That was so meaningful because it was with her grandchildren as well, right? So it was a whole legacy aspect.
Yes.
So we want to help our people to get back to living their life and enjoying and loving their life today, not just thinking about, could I even do that in the future? Or even thinking about it for like 5 years from now.
Yes.
We want them to start living their life right now.
Yes.
Right? So we take care of babies, pregnant mamas, the grandparents, personal injury clients. We love personal injury clients because we love helping them get better and also get the big idea at the same time. Right? So then that way they can carry it for life. And so that motivates me and gets me up in the morning. It's just knowing that I'm going to walk into my purpose. But even more importantly, that those patients are also going to pour right back into me too, because of the beautiful stories of how chiropractic and doing it the way we do it makes a big difference for them.
Yeah, it keeps you fueled, seeing how you're able to bring value and help someone, especially when they get that clarity in their mind and they get the big idea. You know, you're like, okay, nice. You know, it's worth me getting up and getting this done again. Now, as we are painting the best picture possible for your ideal clients and the people you would like to work with, tell us a little bit more about the geographical area in which. Is it where you just need them to be in this local area, or can you help people a little bit further away?
Great question. So we're in Dunwoody, Georgia, which is in the heart, the mecca of the perimeter. And as such, when we take care of our people, they're really coming from anywhere. Like we have patients who are driving 1 hour, 1.5 hour one way just to get to us, right? So we'll take care of anyone who's willing to make the travel. We have patients from Alabama driving to come see us, right? So that is one aspect. The other aspect is what we're now creating, which is a virtual experience. And so that is now going to allow an opportunity for health coaching to be on a much larger scale. Gotten a lot of requests for that and really helping people to get turned on to more of the alignment from within aspect. What else can they do at home? What are some of the things that they can actually do to shift their body and get the goals that they're looking for, and also start healing some things, getting them some answers. So doing a lab work, analyzing that, creating a system and a program with them. That is more than just weight loss, but that tends to be a part of it too. It's more so, again, how can we structure your life differently so you can just feel better? So we can do that virtually anywhere. And I do have clients worldwide.
Okay. Yeah, just want to make sure that we get all of it out there. Like I said, put all the nice painting on there. Now, for yourself, we definitely appreciate you sharing about your business, how you're out here helping these patients. And we talked briefly about a book that you've written. Do you mind sharing with us a little bit about the book?
Sure. So Harmonize Your Life. It is a book that is really structured around helping people to find joy again. I haven't told you all about my journey. There's a lot of transitions that also happened along the way, right? We're talking about from personal transitions of marriage, as well as transitioning out of marriage into divorce, as well as having, children in the COVID years start. So my kids are 5 and 3. So, just really navigating all of that while running a business at the same time was really challenging. And there were times where I lost my joy, especially I lost my meaning. I lost, the oomph that really ran the practice. And so I had to go find this harmony, right? And said I was chasing balance all this time, and it really was harmony that I needed to seek. And after spending many, many years and a lot of money to go through healing, I wanted to gift the world with this in a more concise way to turn them on to this concept, also from a chiropractic lens, because it really was something I was already doing with my patients, but I didn't really understand it fully, that it was also blending emotional intelligence aspects, that it was blending spiritual health. It was blending, mental health components that helps us just live our best life. And I wanted to create something, a framework, if you will, which is what we call the 6 C's of harmony and the book. And we wanted to really help them to start the conversation with either themselves only, or find a group close to them that actually can explore some of these concepts, as well as finding a therapist, finding the right type of professionals, even a chiropractor that can help them to actually address the areas of their life that has helped them to lose their joy.
Okay.
So that's what it's about.
Awesome. That's magnificent. I definitely appreciate you sharing that, because I'm sure inside of there you talked about some of your ups, downs, and all arounds, and but more importantly, talk to them about some of the solutions that you came up to get that harmony that you have now. So I definitely appreciate you sharing that. And I am going to ask you to share a little bit more. You have talked a lot about your journey. You've talked about your business and the people you're trying to help. But I am confident over that journey, you have acquired and nurtured a bunch of best practices or business skills that have helped you to be successful.
Right.
Do you mind sharing with the audience that is watching today some of those skills that they can possibly add to their mix and try to strive toward that same success?
Yeah, of course. So I would say the best thing that I did to really reframe how I showed up every day was to establish a morning routine.
Okay.
Right? I know we all hear about that, especially as business owners, but it's really important, because if we don't take care of ourselves first, then everything else, it follows us, right? It follows our direction. And so I started to see that actually happening in my practice in a very short period of time with my team when I started taking care of me, because then I came in with more clarity. Now, my morning routine throughout the years varied a lot. When I didn't have young children to shepherd off to school right before I went to rush through traffic to get to the office, it was a very different experience. But morning routines don't have to be pretty lengthy, right? It's just what serves you best. And so what is a part of mine now incorporates stretching, it incorporates prayer, it incorporates a space for just mindfulness and just really creating some gratitude for the day. So I would start off with my 3 best practices, and then it puts me in a mindset that is ready to conquer the day. Now, sometimes it includes podcasting. So I'll listen to different podcasts as well to really get me ready to just think differently and to walk into the office with just more meaning, a little bit more pep in my step. Right? So the morning routine is a big thing. The second thing I would say is really taking care of your own emotional intelligence. A lot of us have gone through so much in this world, especially if you're a business owner, you may have gone through quite a bit that may have broken your spirit a little bit, and understanding that is important, and not just understanding, acting on getting some healing around that. And so making the space for yourself to take care of you. We call it self-care. I call it necessary care. It's not a luxury. It's something I need. So making space on my calendar to give back to myself the health I give to other people is very important to me. Physically, mentally, spiritually, all that. So I encourage that, especially with our clients, especially if they're business owners. Find a way for you to establish a self-care routine or necessary care routine that's going to take care of you. And the third part I would say is really having mentors, having the right kind of mentors. There's a lot of conversation around if you're the smartest person in the room or in the group, then you're probably not in the right group. Yes, and you can also learn from anyone else, right? So figuring out where you are now is important, assessing your own business from your lens of where you are, but also if you have a mentor who's a little farther ahead from you, a coach, if you will, they can help you to then see the gaps for yourself. 9 of the 10 years that I've been in business, I have been a business consultant. And so I've worked with a lot of other businesses, mostly in the chiropractic space, but not just there. I always look at business from a lens of how I can help them to, whether it's their sales, whether it's their retention, what can they do differently? And I was working with someone recently who has an IT business. He was just selling me his products, and I was giving him feedback on his sales process because he recognized the value in what I brought by the questions I was asking him and the things that I was answering for him. And then he just point blank asked me, like, hey, how could I change this? And I told him what to do differently. And yesterday we were talking, and he said, hey, I implemented the strategy that you mentioned, and I already got another sale. Right? And so that was very meaningful for him, right? But it started for me with having mentorship. So being open to being coached, being open to mentorship is important.
Yes, those are some magnificent points. I love them all. I really do like the morning routine because it starts you off with a purpose at that particular time. It kind of sets the day up and you set it off in the right way by doing those different principles that you do each and every time. So thank you so much for sharing that. I truly do appreciate that. And now I kind of want to turn the corner just a little bit. We've talked a lot about your journey, the business, the best practices, but I want to talk about Dr. Sam. So let's just say that your team is doing a magnificent job where the business is going great. Time and money is not an issue at all. What is it that Dr. Sam will do with her time?
Definitely spending more time with my family.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we can sacrifice quite a bit when we're business owners. It's not always having the meaningful opportunities or creating the meaningful opportunities for ourselves and children. And my partner, he and I both work really hard to create this generational wealth aspect that we're building for our family. However, it comes with sacrifice. So I would sacrifice less of my time. And I would spend more time with them, travel the world as well. Love traveling, love experiencing different cultures, and love seeing it from their lens. My children have already traveled home with me to Jamaica already. They have their passports, and that experience taught me that I'm going to wait a little bit more before they travel again, because my God, it was intense. It was a lot. It was a lot traveling with like 5 extra bags just because you have to, you know, kind of thing. So anyway, they did great, but and they loved it. They loved just experiencing a different way, and you could see their eyes just like, you know, opening up with all this expectation, or not expectation, but this vision of this is different, and interacting with their environment differently. And I want to create more opportunities for that. Okay.
Now, do you guys have another destination spot that's next? What's next for you on your travel?
You know, we try to do something different every year. And so last year it was Jamaica. This year we went to St. Martin for the first time. Next year we're planning on going to Greece. And so, yeah, the world is huge. So we'll pick it as we go.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with getting new things on those eyes. So, you know, that's one of the more fulfilling things, to see something new. And I believe that it's going to be great for you and great for the kids. Now, you shared so much about how you're helping in this holistic manner. And if people have questions about how to get in contact with you, about your practice, about the best practices, or just learning more about your journey, what's the best way for them to get in contact with you?
You can reach out to us through thelvw.com. You can also reach out to us directly at info@drsammarch.com as well.
Awesome. We truly do appreciate you coming on the show today. We appreciate you sharing, and we always honor our guests by giving them the last word. So please look into the camera and tell the people something good.
Sure. You know, your life was meant to be filled with alignment. And alignment for you can look like so many different things. You have the power to create it. And so I want to leave you with this quote from my book, which is just a sentence. You're in the process of becoming, and an abundant life is an aligned one.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing those wise words and coming on the show with us today.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.
Awesome. And to everyone that is watching, be kind and thanks.